So, who brought the booger sugar? No, I'm just playing.
God damn. To be that night, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Booger Sugar and Whiskey. Today's a very special episode. Today we have a couple of guests.
We got Art here, Art and Abel.
Hey.
And you guys are brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
What y'all here to talk about, man? Just about anything or what?
Paranormal activity, man. That's what I heard.
About the
That's the
paranormal.
paranormal, brother.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
A
Everything.
little bit of aliens.
Aliens,
Yeah.
what's in the beyond, whatever.
You telling me you seen an alien?
Nah, I mean, I have. There's like you know. I don't know if you've heard of what's these? They're sinister looking guys, right?
Sinister, like, are you talking about like Men in Black?
Yeah, yeah.
About the guys in the dark that move without agency and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You do whatever
okay.
they want.
So like it's kind of the story goes that these are like the Men in Black that are the Men in Black with
There you go.
with Will Smith, right? Men in Black,
Right.
The
Will
OG,
Smith,
the OG.
the aliens. I think the first one that came out is the first alien that came out in that movie was a guy that could bend his legs backwards,
right,
and then jump everywhere, all like high and shit.
Yeah, so
like that kind of shit. Yeah.
So what happens after, right? After all that stuff goes down, these guys come in, which is Will Smith and them, and they do that little, and then everybody forgets.
Yeah,
right.
That little flash.
It makes them forget. So that's what these guys kind of do. They go in and they kind of like, supposedly they were part of the government. Back then, the U.S. didn't want people to know about UFOs and stuff. Now they're pretty open.
Oh yeah.
You're saying that they exist? Like, is there like a thing where they exist? Because
Bro,
I didn't know anything about this.
Bro, they literally put out
they declassified FBI or not FBI like declassified UFOs. So they have encountered them. Like
I remember that guy. So he was like in one of those meetings where people are asking him questions and everything. That guy.
It was on a radio.
Like a bald guy.
It was on a radio, no?
Was it?
I think so. And he called the radio host.
Oh, I heard about that one. Yeah,
And they cut it off. They cut it out while he was talking.
Yeah.
No, we hear like he was a whistleblower.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
He worked for Area 51, right?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I only have a little bit of time to say this, and he's like, aliens are real, and these guys know about it. That the government has made a peace treaty with them. That they're gonna release them, like kind of like tell them about us later on. But right now, the society isn't ready.
So does that mean that he still alive? I mean, I think
Well, supposedly that after that, he never got spoke of again. They never could find the guy.
See, that's what happens, man.
When they
That's what happens. You don't want to mess with the government because it's always ruled a suicide, bro.
Yeah, it's ruled a suicide or it's a fucking
crazy like a heart attack or something, like something that you didn't even have problems with before, man.
Yeah, you're just like, man, now I got these Men in Black suits at my door.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's scary, bro.
That's scary. They're trying to recruit, dog. What's up? What's up? I'm your guy.
I'm trying to see what's up, bro. Like, I want to be in the mix.
You weren't here, dog.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, man. That's crazy, dog. Like the whole because it was just conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
It's always just been conspiracies,
right?
It's conspiracies until it happens to you, I guess.
But the thing is, the conspiracies is all like the UFO government stuff like that. But everybody's always known spirits and the paranormal was real, right? They've always done exorcists in the churches and shit like that.
Well, I mean, do y'all believe in the ghost and stuff? Or?
Yeah.
You know what? With me, I'm not too sure. I'm a skeptic.
Yeah.
So I believe that there is something that we just don't see, we don't perceive, but I don't know if it's actually like, ghosts haunting us and stuff like that, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much out there.
People seen so much, man.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I believe in, haunting. I believe that there's spirits that are still left behind,
I guess,
from attached to certain things that that were strongly involved in their personal life. You know what I mean? That's a real deal type of thing.
So do y'all think there's a difference between like just regular spirits and demonic entities? Because that's the whole reason they use exorcists and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And like the whole thing between them is like, I think a ghost is just something that they weren't able to cross over, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's what they say it is. It's
Had like a crazy experience, made them kind of like timestamp themselves in that moment.
Right, and they say that the longer they stay, the crazier they get, the more like ruthless. I'm not too sure if that's true, but like say, hey, like right now, let's say you die, Greg. Rest in peace, brother.
Hey, no. The thing is though,
you're like normal, bro. You're like normal as shit. But then later, after years and years, you become more like not human. You're already not human, but
Right.
you become less human and more like poltergeist, where you can move shit, but
Just
now
go
you want to
into
hurt people or
Spiritual
something. You know?
realm
At that
is what
point.
they call
Yeah.
it. Like the spiritual realm.
okay. See, and what I was gonna say is that like the difference between the two, right? I think spiritual realm and all that, like y'all were saying, poltergeist. So they were saying like whenever somebody dies, like let's say it's of a suicide or like somebody kills somebody, they say they're not, for some reason, I don't know where I heard this. It was in the church somewhere. They were saying that they're not allowed to pass over because they were killed. They were taken before they were, supposed to.
I
go.
heard that's what's up with suicide.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
suicide, since it was you that did that to yourself,
Yeah.
that you're not allowed to cross and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
I'm not sure. Again.
Yeah, the
is
thing
the-
is like I think from what I heard is that it's like a traumatic event that happened, like murders or like you said, suicide. Someone, the way that they commit the suicide,
Yeah.
it like puts them in that realm because they have an untold story. Because whenever
Unresolved, right?
Exactly,
Unresolved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to deal with their whatever happened to them and be okay with it or something like
Yeah.
that for them to pass over. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, what is it exactly that is going to cause them to pass over, right?
yeah,
Is it
Right.
finding the killer? But what if the killer already died years ago or something?
Right, or maybe like some kind of justice. I'm guessing it's some kind of justice because, like, honestly, I think that's why we have a lot of ghosts, man. Because, I don't believe too much in ghosts, but what people say as ghosts, it's because there's not really a way to resolve ghost issues, man.
yeah. Like it's a whole nother
unfinished
like
business is what.
Yeah,
There you
That
go.
unfinished
Yeah.
business, yeah,
Unfinished
man.
business, exactly.
it definitely goes into like a whole nother like it gets deep.
It really good.
There's a rabbit hole you can go down.
Have you seen the Supernatural? Have you seen Supernatural, the show?
Oh
Yeah,
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 I've seen
yeah,
that.
yeah.
A lot of unresolved businesses
Yeah,
with ghosts and
exactly.
stuff like that, man.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they just get crazy and start killing people and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
No, that reminds me of that church. I don't know. I was telling G about
Lovington, New Mexico.
in Lovington, New Mexico.
Yeah.
We had whenever I was younger, probably I was like 13, 14 in that era. We were kind of crazy because we're at Sunday school, right? We're at church thinking, oh yeah, these guys are gonna be some good kids. You're gonna talk about. No, we were like, oh, let's.
Desmadrosos.
Yeah. We're like, hey, let's let's go check out this church. This kid had brought up, the story of it, and the story goes is that there's this church in New Mexico, and
Right.
and this church is in Lovington, New Mexico. This pastor, they say he was calling himself a pastor, and this was a church, and everybody was going every Sunday.
Was
But
he not a pastor?
that's the thing. So this guy, he was like convincing these guys to come in on Sunday, and he was gonna do like some kind of ritual, right? And the ritual was he had already planned this out to murder these guys in the church.
Oh, that's definitely not a pastor,
Nah.
man.
Yeah, right. At
Right.
that point,
I'm
it
pretty
turned
sure
into
that's not on the job description, man.
right. He could be
Start
like-
killing people.
Yeah. So I mean, he's actually probably a leader of a cult, right?
Right.
So he just like he killed these guys, and after he killed them, he strangled them. Every member was strangled.
Is that
Wait.
how he killed him? By strangulation?
By
They
strangulation.
let him?
Yeah. He convinced them.
Oh,
So they
Yeah.
all knew. So they were all in line looking at this guy
Strangling.
just like putting the hurt on somebody, and they were like, hey, I'm next. I'm next, right? Yeah.
We're gonna do
Send
it.
me up.
I want some of that. That's what I want.
Yeah, you know, I don't know how someone could convince someone to do that, but he did. He convinced these people to kind of be in their seats, and after he finished strangling them, he went out and there was a tree right next to the church, and he hung himself on that tree.
He strangled himself.
Yeah, so he followed through with all that, and they abandoned that area. They said that it was supposedly it was like one of the, I didn't get no like 100% look up the internet kind of deal, but the talk around town is that it was one of the 100 places there in Mexico.
really?
See, it's funny though. I looked it up and I tried finding it. And I could not find anything on
See,
it.
and I'm thinking
It
it's
sounds
one of the-
like local lore or some shit like that, no?
and you're like, at that point, you're like, huh. So now we're intrigued at Sunday school, right? Yeah, after you hear that story, you're like, hey, man, I'm intrigued. Let's go check this place out. And we had like a little vote, hey, I'm going to go check this place out. We're like, yeah, we're all going to go check this place out. Half of us
I'm
were
going
with-
home.
Yeah,
I'm going home, man. I ain't
half of
going
us were
over
like,
this.
no, but they still went,
They still went. You went too.
Yeah, I went
Curiosity
too.
killed the cat. Curiosity
Hey,
killed the cat,
you're right. I wanted to see like, cause in my head, you're young. You're like, I just want to see if I can see something, or, am I gonna experience something? And
Crazy shit. Yeah, man.
he would, bro.
Crazy.
We go to this place. We pull up. Half of us are like, hey, we're gonna go check it out. We're gonna go inside. Half of us are like, hell no.
Which one were you though? Which
Me?
one were you?
Bro, I was intrigued. I wanted to check it out during the day though, but you put me there at night, boy. I ain't going in there.
I'm straight.
I ain't trying to go in there.
I'm not even out past 8. Dog.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm good.
I'm not even going to a normal church at that
Hey,
time.
bro, I'm going to sleep,
bro.
dog.
Exactly.
I was just like, I was like, well, let's check it out. The sun's out. We can experience this. And then, the other half was really convincing because they were like, nah, we shouldn't. We're supposed to be at church. We're supposed to be at,
Everybody's at Sunday school right
Yeah,
now.
we're
They're
over
learning.
here.
Hey, they're learning about whenever the Lord brought light.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Where
He
are we
brought
at?
light.
Yeah, we're in the wrong place, man. So they were like, all right, fine. We're going to call it a day. They're like, let's just snap a picture. All right, snap a picture. Because, the word around the street is like, if you snap a picture, you can catch something in the picture. Right?
Right. That's how you see. I mean, that's how usually you can see ghosts. Is taking a picture. I think you mentioned it, or I think it was you, Greg, that with Polaroids is the most effective way.
Yeah. So Polaroids are like, supposedly they're the ones who catch the most,
Everything.
are the ghost, like, or the entity in that moment. If you're somewhere, they're more likely to catch it than a regular camera.
Yeah, and that's why, because it's just a stamp on a photo, and then it recreates it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if it happens, it's gonna be in there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So, but we took that picture. It wasn't on a Polaroid, but I thought it was on a Nikon. But we did take a picture of it.
DSLR. Okay.
Yeah, we brought it back, and we're like, okay, like at the moment we just took the picture, and we're like, all right, let's go. So we looked at it, glanced at it, didn't think nothing of it. Get back to the church, we start actually looking at the picture, bro, and I'm like, I'm thinking like, okay, like, let's look at this picture again. I'm pretty sure there's nothing on there. We're gonna double check it,
Yeah.
And we actually pulled it up. I did remember we did eventually have I think it was a laptop that they put it on. So they're like, all right, let's check it out on the laptop. And they get on the laptop, they zoom in, and man, when I tell you what we saw,
You saw
bro, it was okay.
the devil.
It might have been himself. Now, I in my head, I thought it was this, it was a pastor himself. It was black shadows. This dude standing in front of the door, black shadow, like. And it looked like he had a bunch of black shadows behind him.
So it wasn't a feature. It was a featureless kind of person,
Yeah.
or silhouette of a person or something like that, right?
Yeah. So just imagine a screen door, right?
Right.
And then imagine like it being dark as hell inside there, right? And behind
Right.
the screen door.
Yeah.
And there's just somebody standing right there in the dark, and then there's multiple people standing in the dark with no face, no facial features, nothing, just like a gang of people just sitting there. But it's abandoned.
So it was just silhouettes of like
Silhouettes.
something out there. And this was at what time?
This was probably like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, bro.
And you still
Oh,
saw something like
shit.
that. That's
Okay.
crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. It was probably like,
Imagine if it was like at 3:33 o'clock at night.
dude,
Damn,
Bro, it started
bro.
tagging.
you wouldn't catch me there.
You wouldn't see me there at that time, bro.
Take your ass back to Sunday school.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Let's
you
learn
doing?
some verses or something, bro.
And our grandparents, they're old school, bro. Like they're the old school Christians, apostolic, Pentecostal. So we be there at church till like 10.
At night,
At
yo,
night,
yo,
bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Like you get out of church and they be like, all right, let's go to McDonald's, get some
Hey,
food. I'm like,
It gets
"Yeah, I'm
extended,
tired,
yeah.
And then everybody's jamming out.
Exactly,
the
bro.
team's jamming out
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah.
You're like, I feel the spirit of the Lord. Still. Like, let's go another hour. Like, man, I'm tired. Man. Like, take me home, grandma.
Oh, you're all falling asleep on the
I mean,
fucking pews and shit.
Hey, that was me, bro. I was the one to sleep under the pews.
Hey, it's funny though because there's one time I actually fell asleep in the restroom, right? And it was just like a single person restroom, bro. I was like what, maybe 11 or 12, and I was tired, bro. I stayed up all night, I think, and I fell asleep right next to the toilet, bro. It was nasty. I know it's nasty. I fell asleep on the floor, bro. Pastor comes in there, opens the door. I guess
Got
I
caught
was in-
by the head honcho, bro.
Well, the thing is, I guess I was in there for
Himself.
so long, bro. Like somebody
Yeah.
had to use the restroom. They told the pastor. He's like, hey. He's waking me up. I'm like, yeah. Hey, what's up? my bad. I took him off top.
That was
My bad.
good.
Hey, you know
I
what?
slipped off.
I had a similar experience like that, but
I
you
did
know
too.
what? The difference is they left me in there. I fell asleep.
They locked me in
Bro,
there.
I
He
fell
said.
asleep under the pew, right? Next thing I know, I wake up. There's nobody in the church, bro. I'm like 6, 7 years old. I'm looking around like, where'd everybody go? I'm scared as fuck. Like,
They locked those doors and everything
I
because you
thought I was
get.
dreaming. You know, I got out. I was like, what the like? I slammed myself a couple times.
What
I
about
got
your
out,
parents? They didn't notice. They didn't know you were gone.
We were out next door.
We had a salon. There's a salon next door. You know, everybody ate at. And so
Yeah.
I walked out. I was like, all the cars were still there. I was like, all right, I'm not alone. So,
We,
I woke up. I was scared than a motherfucker.
we were
Hey,
young. We
how-
still
wait,
living.
how'd you get found?
I didn't get found. I found my way to them. I woke
Oh,
up.
I didn't get found. He said.
That's crazy in the church. That
I wonder when they would have noticed when you were like, they were like halfway home. And like, hey, where's the other one?
oh, under the
I've been left before, so I wouldn't be surprised.
He's got left before.
That's hilarious, bro.
We used to live next to a church, bro.
That church?
No,
Oh,
not that one,
okay,
not that
okay.
one. We used to live next to, because we lived in Hobbs, and over there, like, there's a community around there, and a lot of them shared, like, next door, like, townhouses, kind of.
Yeah.
And this church was helping us out, and we lived right next to it. They had, like, a house that you could live in, and we were staying there, man. That place was, to me, you know, you stay at somewhere, and you're like, I'm comfortable, you know, after a couple of days. There's, like, 1 or 2
right.
days you're uncomfortable, but after a
Takes
while,
time.
takes time. You get there though, right? Man, I seemed to like I couldn't get there, like, and it just threw me off, you know. And this is kind of like an experience, like a paranormal experience I had.
And an uneasy vibe. and
Uneasy
shit like
vibe, bro. Like, and I hated going to the restroom, and because like it was just old school, and it was right there next to the door, like the door led to the church. Like you can open the door and go into the church if you wanted to.
that. Inside your house?
Inside my house. So
Oh, really?
yeah, bro. And they would like, and I would, and it was weird because they would like congregate like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. Like you would like look under the door and there'd be shadows, like people walking, like if they were eating, just got out of church, you know?
Right. So it's real people, though, right? It's real people, but it's
Well-
kind of like, it's kind of odd just to see
It was
people.
just odd to see people there. Like you would hear people like sometimes some people would like hang out in front of the door, so you'd see their feet, you know, and you would be like, oh, okay, you know, there's somebody chilling on the
Someone
outside
there.
the door.
Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't say nothing because that door was like locked on the other side. It wasn't locked on our side, so like
They could come in.
they could come in basically.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, you know, whatever. They really didn't do anything. They left us alone, but You know, sometimes, some days, someone would accidentally walk into our house. You know.
Oh,
Like,
really?
oh shit! Yeah. Sometimes that happened, but
Damn.
like that happened like once or twice, but then it stopped. You know.
I'd be scared
And
as fuck. Regardless,
yeah,
regardless,
no,
man.
but
No matter who it is, someone walks into your house,
Yeah.
you feel uneasy.
Yeah,
man.
and it was just so uneasy that was there. But the more uneasy part that got me was like, why are you having church at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? You know what I mean? This
Did
2
they
or
do
3
that
o'clock in
often?
the
Do
morning.
they do that
yeah,
often?
they probably did it like, it was actually like almost every other week, bro.
Yeah,
That sounds
I
like
remember
some.
that,
That
actually.
sounds like
Yeah.
some ritual kind
Yeah,
of
some
stuff, man.
kinda
2 or
stuff.
3 in the
I remember
morning.
that.
Well,
3, 3,
Well,
3.
I mean,
Yeah.
wait. See, I've heard of where they'll have events where they'll go stay the night at the church.
yeah.
Like
See,
a
so that's what I was
overnight
thinking.
thing?
That see in my head,
Yeah,
that's what I
they-
was thinking.
They
And-
just did that.
But
at
don't you go
my
to that church? Don't you go to
No.
that church?
No, that was a church we didn't go to. It was a.
Oh,
It was just it was like another church. It was a different type of religion. So, you know, it was just we didn't go. We went like one time. Actually, you know what's crazy? My dad did get married in that church to my
Oh,
stepmother.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
To the
like
second wife.
to the second wife.
La segunda.
Hey, did I say you guys were brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
But do you have any other brothers, sisters, any of that?
We
We
have
have
we have
step
step
brothers.
siblings. Yeah. We don't have-
Oh, step. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
step.
But you guys are brothers, brothers.
Yeah,
right?
brothers,
Yeah,
brothers.
brothers,
Yeah,
brothers.
same dad, same mama.
So
yeah.
you were also living there whenever
I
people would
was.
come in to the
I
house,
was
man.
living there.
Shoot.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. Like
Yeah, that place was.
I did have one night, bro. It was like probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. I was like, I'm gonna go to I need the restroom. You know, you get up and you take a piss, right? You're like, all right, you're young, you go like nothing. And I can't remember what I was grabbing out of we had one of those medicine cabinets that you like
They're
open.
mirrors, and then they
Yeah.
open. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You just open it and you're like, oh, okay. And you close it.
Right.
And we're like, okay, you know, like I'm just gonna go. I had to get something out of there. I think it was some soap, bar soap or something. And I was like, hey, you know, I opened the I opened the door. I'm like, I hope I don't shut this door. And, you know, something's there. You know, as a
So
kid,
you're
yeah.
already thinking.
I was
about
already
it.
thinking about it, but then I was like, you know
are
what?
you talking about that mirror? Like close it, and then like something's there in the mirror.
Exactly. So I was like, I mean, I
Damn.
hope nothing happened. But I was like, you know what? I'm tripping, bro. We're right next to a church. How can it be like that? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm just still not settled in. So I go to shut it, and bro, when I tell you, I seen like an old man, and he was like blue. The flesh was blue, cuts all over his face, and I was just like I went like, and I opened the mirror out of like instinct, right?
For it to disappear or
Yeah,
something like
Like,
that, right? You
like-
open it
like,
back
yeah,
up.
I'm like,
I don't
yo,
want to see that.
I'm like, I don't want to see that, you know. So I opened it back up and I shut it because I was like, I'm tripping. Like,
Did you turn around?
No, I didn't. So this is.
I wouldn't turn around
Yeah,
either,
yeah,
man. I mean, I just want you to
Well, no,
disappear.
it
That's
was-
it.
was, like I wasn't in the picture. It was an old man, bro. Like I didn't see me there in the mirror. It was just an old man, cut up face. I opened it because I freaked out. I shut it and it was me again.
What?
And I was like,
You think it's you whenever you're older, or was it?
I don't even know. I felt like so uneasy after that, bro. I didn't want to turn around.
Fuck that.
I didn't want to turn
Fucking
around. I was
leave.
like, yeah. I literally, bro. Like, I didn't sleep the rest of the night. After that, I told my mom, I was like, I'm not ever going over there again. I was like, I'm not ever. I don't ever want to go back, you know. And she was like, why? You know, it's right there next to the church. How can it be that bad? And we're like, hell no, I'm not.
Hey, did you
Wait,
have any
yeah, I was about to
experiences,
ask you.
or did you?
No.
What happened is that
So-
you just didn't have. You were like, my brother's tripping.
Why was it- no, man. Well, so the only experience that we had together was like, we got home.
Oh,
And we used to have, you ever seen them joysticks that had like 100 games on it, 200 games on it? You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
emulator kind of thing.
Yeah, you had like
Yeah.
a Grand Prix. That was like
Oh,
my
man.
favorite game.
Hell yeah,
You know,
used to
good
play
shit.
those games all the time.
And we used to play the shit out of that, bro. Like, and it was always plugged in. We never unplugged it. 'cause,
Yeah.
Man, since we got there, we were tearing that up. And one day we got there and like we hadn't been there all weekend. And my dad was at work. He hadn't been home either. And he never played it. Like he would always just either watch TV or, play his guitar or whatever.
Right.
But that was like our thing. And we got there one day and it was sitting on we had it wrapped up under the shelf, But we got there and it was on. The bitch was on and I was like, what?
Like if
We
someone
walked
wasn't
in,
playing
if
it.
somebody was playing it. That bitch was just sitting there, unwrapped on the bed where we usually leave it, and it was on. The TV was on, and it was on Game Select. We're like, what?
Hey man, I heard poltergeists can do that kind of stuff. They could turn things on and move stuff around, man.
And this is like the old school TVs. You know?
Heavy ass.
ones.
I mean, they had the whole square in the back, bro.
Yeah. You had to plug it in red, white, and what is it?
Red, white,
yellow.
Red, white, and yellow.
It been working, man. That goes been working.
bro.
He was like, "Hey, which one goes? Which one goes here?" Like, hey, man, that's wrong.
Hey, he just wanted to get down on some.
He just wanted to play.
He just wanted to play.
He wanted to
Some
play.
Led Zeppelin or some shit.
He wanted to get down. Nah, bro, it was
Yeah,
definitely it tripped us out because we were just like, man, what? We didn't put this out here. Like, did you put it? No, we didn't put it.
That's crazy.
We
Parents get mad at you because it was out or something. Like, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, nah, it was definitely a weird experience. Like that house was another deal, bro. Like I couldn't stay in there after that. I was just like,
We only stayed there a couple times.
yeah. And then my dad ended up moving out of there.
Yeah,
Oh,
regardless.
a couple times. Is it like a week stay or something like that? Or
No. Like
he was renting it from the church.
yeah.
Hey,
oh, so it was a month stay, like
yeah,
at
it
a
was
time.
like we were staying there for a little bit, and then we had gotten out of there and we moved to another house, which is,
Hey, your dad probably was freaked out about all that stuff too, no?
Did he have anything happen to him?
he was, man, that guy, he would work a lot, so he was.
If you need to answer that, you can answer, bro.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay,
Yeah, you can answer it. Yeah, I understand. We both understand. Bro.
Yeah,
You
you're
good.
good. I got you.
Shit, you need to hold that for you?
Oh yeah,
I got you. Quick pause.
I'm gonna get another beer.
Hey, can you grab me one too?
Where were we at before?
Your dad.
Oh yeah,
If your dad had any.
if he had any experiences,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, I know. Oh my bad. You can get your piece in. Everybody got their
Your
spoon.
PC.
Nah, just kidding. No, so he didn't have any experiences, man.
Pinche vato, dude. That's fucking.
Did
You
you
can break
just
your
bite
teeth
it?
doing that.
Yeah.
You just bit that?
Yeah,
bro?
he
That's-
bit that.
That's my
Yeah.
party trick, dog.
Yeah.
I'm not very interesting, but I
You
can
see
do
people do
I
it.
got
You see
that.
people do it
Solid,
with the
bro.
eyelid too. When people do it with the
seen that.
eyelid, yeah.
I haven't seen that one. That one might hurt.
Shit, I can do
I
it.
feel
Just
like it
like
would. I wouldn't
Yeah.
try it.
I'll do it
Oh,
right
that
now.
boy's
crazy.
You want to grab another? I'll do it right now. Fuck
Bro,
it.
if you start
It's the eye that comes out.
Go, how do you explain that at work? Like, I was trying to open a beer.
Is that why he's hanging all the way over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, it's good.
I try to pop it in.
Hey, your eyelids little. Nah,
Yeah, it'll go back to normal. We're
happens
good.
all the time. No, man.
See, your dad didn't. He was too busy working.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, you know, if you're a working man, bro, he was a correctional officer at the prison.
Oh, I bet you he has stories there
25
though.
years.
He had some stories.
What's up?
Yeah.
We're gonna invite him on the next pod or what?
I gotta get it. He's from Nashville.
Yeah, he lives in Nashville, bro.
Yeah.
damn.
But I mean, he does have stories, man. I used to be in this program because whenever I was a little bit younger, I was like, I want to be a cop, and I was like, there was this program that you can go and you can like do cop stuff to get ready for the academy. It was basically getting younger generation to become cops,
Right.
getting them ready. And we had this time. I got to go to where my dad used to work because he used to work in Leventon. There was an old jail, and it was in the middle of town.
Explorers program.
Yeah, that's what it was called. The
Explorers
Explorers
program?
program.
Explorers program.
And they were like, okay, we're gonna search. Okay, in that jail that my dad used to work in, because they built a new jail, so he had to transfer to the new jail, and they shut that jail down. They put in all the inmates in the new jail,
remember that.
closed that jail down.
Abandoned jail, bro.
Abandoned
Yeah,
jail.
abandoned jail.
Exactly. And well, the person who was running the Explorers program was like, hey, that'd be a perfect place for us to train searching buildings, and we were gonna do like we got to pitch tents, learn how to start fires. And we had like a paintball war, and we had BB guns, to where we had to actually search the building with other explorers. You know, they were like training. You know,
Right.
So y'all were in the Boy Scouts.
basically, yeah, bro, that's what it was. That what it was.
Okay.
It was like a whole like, dude. I was like, oh, you know,
Get
let's
patches
say,
and
was
everything,
like-
yeah,
man.
it was something nice,
Train you
bro.
to be a cop.
Yeah, basically, we had to do scenarios if we pulled like they had a cop car there, and there was like the cop pulling them over, and we had to do scenarios with the cop car.
Okay.
You have to
And,
do
like,
what? Oh, scenarios. Scenarios,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so they were like, you got to treat it serious. Like they were like on us, bro.
Traffic
And
stops.
well, that prison, we were doing a search thing, and we were taking a break because we had all just got shot up, bro. We had this major war, you know, like
Shut up.
yeah.
Okay.
That was a
Okay.
good one.
I was thinking fucking over here doing heroin or some shit. Like, we got shot up. We were out of here, bro.
You're like, what? Where's this story going?
He said,
Hey, man.
No.
You're
we're
trying to
doing BB
explore.
guns.
It was the
BB guns,
It
bro.
was
They
the
were like,
instructors
they were-
versus the students.
yeah.
Oh,
right.
shoot.
So,
Okay.
and the
Sounds
instructor-
fun.
Bro, it was actually it was cool. It was cool.
It was
I'm not gonna lie.
airsoft versus
We
paint.
had a little war, bro. I don't know if you played COD and stuff. It was pretty close to that.
Yeah,
I
okay,
mean,
yeah.
you know, but it wasn't
sounds
really-
really fun then.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Hey, those guys were dunking on you guys,
Bro,
probably.
Bro,
man.
well, we
Shitting
pissed him
on us
off
with
because you know we
paintball
were
guns,
like,
bro.
hey man, we're gonna get this guy. Fucking shot him. We break his glasses. This dude pulls out a paintball gun and just starts welding us, bro.
Oh.
Like, we're like, oh shit! I flipped the table. My buddy's trying to run back. He gets shot. He falls. He's like, we're like, hey, bro, come here. Yeah. Bro, dramatic. I'm just like,
Dragging.
Yo,
yeah, it
they
was,
had, so they were like, you gotta act like once you get hit, you have to act like you're injured.
yeah,
So,
yeah. they
so
were-
people were like, I was in the middle. I was by the table because he had already went back to the table. Well, I was sitting there at the table, and they're shooting at me, bro. So I just grabbed the guns they left their guns there on the floor. So I grabbed their airsoft guns, I put them over the table and just started spraying, bro.
Yeah, man.
Just started spraying. And I was the one that ended up breaking the instructor's glasses.
Oh,
He
shoot.
got
Yeah, but he got
pissed.
mad. And then he pulled out that
You
paintball
got-
gun, right?
Definitely
And
got shot
turns
up.
out they were frozen
oh,
paintball guns.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
bro,
that shit hurt.
That's
we were all younger than
messed
this.
up.
This
Yeah.
dude's like 20, 30 years old. And he's like, I'm going to shoot these guys with paintball.
he-
You know,
Shit,
you're
I would have
like,
done the same shit.
He's fucking mad, bro.
You want to break my glasses?
Yeah.
He was so mad.
Yeah, we ended up getting. It was a good time, bro.
It was a
And
good
they when they retreated back, well, that happened, right? A couple of us retreated back to different cells because there were cells behind us,
Right.
and we went back. Some of us went to this cell, some of us went to the other cell. Well, for some reason, someone had the bright idea to shut the cell door. And we
Y'all
like-
were locked in there.
so we got locked in there, bro. They were like, we don't have keys. We have to call the warden to get us out. And we're like,
So-
what the? Like, we have to call the warden. Thankfully, you know, my dad used to work at that jail. So he's
So we
like, I
called my
probably have
dad.
keys.
Yeah.
So my dad's like, let me go home, get the keys, come back. Well, so we decided, oh, you know, this is funny. We're going to take pictures, you know, the people in there. So we're
Right.
taking pictures thinking, you know, oh, that's funny.
I'm in jail.
Like,
Look at me.
We're all doing a cop program. They ended up in jail, you know, like, and we thought it was a funny deal.
Shooting the glasses.
it's-
That's
yeah.
why.
It's funny because one of our cousins was actually in the
She was-
same program, and she was one of the ones that was locked in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, and it was weird, bro, because she was like, I'm having anxiety. We're laughing. I'm like, it's funny though. And she's like, it's not funny. I'm having like,
I
she's
can't
like, I'm freaking
breathe.
out. Yeah. And we're like, hey, you're
just
good.
laughing
Like,
at
relax.
her.
Panic,
Like,
she was having a panic attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she claustrophobic? Is that why? Or
well,
what?
yeah. Well, she has like, yeah, I would say she was claustrophobic, but
I would say that too. It's claustrophobia, right? It's like it's a confined space and you can't leave it.
yeah, so
you
it's
can't get out,
claustrophobic. And we were just like, okay, you know, after the whole thing, we blew it over. And later on, we had got on Facebook because they had posted. I don't know if they posted on Facebook or at the time it was MySpace. You know, I don't know.
it was the whole.
MySpace, man.
MySpace.
And
Oh,
Top 10 friends and shit.
hey, you're always friends with Tom, man. He's always your friend.
Always your friend. And he had the music playing, you know. Ba-dum-dum-dum.
Had your whole fucking playlist and shit.
Yeah, top 10 playlist. But
I remember I had Bugs Bunny in the background, man, because you could change the backgrounds and stuff like
Mine was
that.
SpongeBob.
All
like,
mafia
had a
looking
Lambo,
like,
bro.
yeah. It's always with like with teeth
the
and everything,
grill.
grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
having
And-
Paul Wall in the background. But someone had posted the pictures, bro. Oh, we got trapped here, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you zoom in the background, bro, it looks like there's somebody in a robe in the background, like figured, like.
So he was what?
He was
robed up, like
In a robe.
yeah, like he
he
they
just
were
took
like
a
if he
bath?
was a priest.
Kind of like with his
I
face
thought
hidden.
you said, like he took a bath or something.
Oh
No.
no. Hello.
There's a whole bunch of kids locked up in
oh, dude.
No Diddy, bro.
That's straight Diddy, dog. That's straight Diddy.
That is. This is the baby.
Now I see why she had that anxiety, dog.
Hey, he's creeping up in the back.
So it was pretty much this guy that had like a robe and he was
Like a
probably like
priest
hooded or no?
kind of like it was hooded, but it was a priest robe, and you can make it out to have a cross on it.
Kind of like a monk kind of
Yeah,
would
kinda.
wear.
Yeah, but it did have a cross on it, which was the weird part. You don't see most like shadows like that having a cross. Or like, what the heck?
Right.
You think
Right,
it looked like something like from Black Clover? You know how they have the robes and they have the hoods on? You know which part I'm talking about?
No, what are you talking about?
Where they attacked the city or whatever.
Oh yeah, okay. So
what I'm
those
talking
hooded
about?
guys that
Yeah.
attacked the city and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking like that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they got it up to like here, to where like they can't
Yes,
see your face,
exactly.
kind of.
Hey, but you couldn't make out the face. It was more of the body, and it kind of had the robe. So you're just looking at. And this is in the background. And it's really faded because it was just something that was in the picture. Like we were just like, what the heck is that, bro? Like it's somebody there. Like you can tell there's somebody behind everybody, and you can see in the picture everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
So it was like a selfie kind of thing, and then just something was behind.
Yeah, we were,
Yeah,
In the cell.
in the cell with the
Yeah.
kids, where they were trapped at.
Were you there too?
I was there actually. We were taking pictures of them through the bars.
Yeah.
Right, like if you guys
Yeah,
were
we're-
inside,
exactly,
right?
you know,
Yeah,
like,
like, hey man, we're in jail, we're in
Yeah.
fucking prison. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, and you could see them, and we're like, in the pictures, you could see that figure in the background. And you're just like, man, we didn't even see that. And everybody in that cell that everybody was in there, we kind of talked to everybody after, because we were like friends with all of them. So we're like, hey man, how'd you feel? Like, did you feel weird? They're like, yeah, man. It kind of felt like somebody was just watching us.
Damn.
Yeah.
And there was more than it wasn't just my cousin that had a hard time breathing.
Yeah,
You know
it was
what I mean?
actually it was like two
it
other
was
people.
like two other people that were like
They were feeling something,
were
something
feeling,
like
Yeah.
some
Physically,
anxiety.
They couldn't breathe.
like
Right.
physically could not breathe.
Yeah.
And they weren't the type, those weren't the type of people to have.
Well, I mean, it was a little bit
Anxiety
back
or
then,
anything
so you
like
got to
that.
think like us as kids, we were like, nah, we can't say shit. We're not gonna say nothing. That's crazy. What am I gonna say? Oh, I can't breathe. Because then
Yeah.
you seem like, and you're around a bunch of,
like a
bunch
pussy.
of dudes. Yeah, exactly. we just had a gunfight with our instructor. You can't sound like the fucking man. So you're like, nah, like you're not gonna say nothing. But
Right, man.
later on, I would talk to everybody, and I was like, man, like everybody had the same experience.
So you felt that too, is what you're saying? Did you feel it too, or you're not as much?
You felt
Not
like
as much.
I would feel like people were watching myself, but I was like just that person. Like you're just
I didn't
like
get physically sick, but
Yeah.
you would feel uneasy. if
It's
you
an
were-
uneasy
yeah.
feeling.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's an
especially
uneasy
knowing it's a
feeling.
prison, bro.
Right.
I later
And
I-
people did die in there for
yeah,
sure.
exactly
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
for
I would
sure.
later go
No
ask
doubt.
like because I didn't know what floor we were on. Like my dad, I ended up asking my dad, hey, since you worked there, like what was up? Like was that floor that we were on? What was it? He's like that was a psych floor. Like psych floor.
Shit.
He's like yeah.
So it's all the crazy people.
Crazy people, bro. It's crazy people.
Oh,
That psych floor.
And at one point he's like, yeah, he goes, in that room because when they were the room that they were shooting out of or the cell, not the one they got stuck, the one they got like stuck in, but on the other side there was another cell that there was a guy who claimed to be a priest and he hung himself in there on the toilet.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro. And when he told me that, I got chills, bro. I was like,
I was
I was like,
I
what?
got white. I was
yeah, we're
we
like,
ain't going
dang,
back.
bro, we ain't never gonna go back to that prison ever again.
Yeah.
He told you the story, man. Like it was like,
Yeah.
hey, you saw this? Oh, well, there was a guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there was a guy
was a
there
guy,
that
yeah.
he was he called him a self-proclaimed priest, because he like claimed he dealt with him, he's like, yeah, he was just self-proclaimed, said that he was the what do you call it? The up and coming what's it called? Where they
Prophet.
prophet.
Yeah,
prophet.
you
Okay.
be a prophet.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah. He just went nuts, and he ended up hanging himself in that cell with the toilet.
Does anybody know why he hung himself?
No, they just said they claimed it as something like he was going crazy.
Just a mental.
Yeah, mental.
You ain't
mental
gonna find
illness.
out, but it looks like
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're in the psych
Yeah.
ward, yeah, you went crazy.
They never
Yeah,
really
bro, I mean,
investigated it
Yeah, they
officially.
investigated,
kinda like
considered
it
this a
happened.
suicide. Yeah, it was definitely like
It's always a suicide.
Always.
always. Yeah, bro, that was like, and that was after that. I mean, the program kind of went to crap because they didn't take care of it, but that jail ended up turning into like the main courthouse building now.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
they
now-
renovated it.
They renovated
so now
it.
there's a fucking priest in a courthouse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a
I'm
priest in
trying
the
to
court. That's what
experience it,
I'm
bro.
hearing.
Yeah.
There's a
He's
dead
hung
priest in the
somebody else.
courthouse.
Yeah.
doing
Yeah, it was.
It was.
striking terror.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. We went there. As a matter of fact, my cousin got married in that same place, but I didn't really go inside. I kind of went, around.
Imagine they took a picture and like the priest is there
Like, oh.
while they're trying to get married.
Not even the one that
Yeah.
married to them, bro. That figure itself.
Yeah. Like we meet again.
Round 2.
I never thought about it, but I remember I took because we went into the training room too,
Oh yeah.
and they had there was literally used flashbangs in there.
Oh yeah.
And
They would train. Yeah, they would train.
Yeah, they would
like
train.
SWAT would actually train in that same prison, bro.
Yeah.
And they would
find
use this,
casings.
casings. They would use these paint bullets that they would actually use
Yeah.
against each other. And I mean, you can tell they look like real rounds. They look like they
Yeah.
hurt, but
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
kept one. I kept one of those.
Oh, you have one
I
of
had-
those? Yeah.
yeah.
I ended up giving it to my cousin for his birthday there in Lovington. But that was a.
We used to have a
That was
flashbang
crazy.
casing too, I think.
That's what it was. I gave
Oh,
it to him.
that's the one you
I
gave.
found
oh,
a
that's-
pin
yeah.
and
Yeah,
everything.
okay.
Yeah.
That I remember
That's
we
pretty
took
dope though, having
That's
a
pretty
flashback.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's like having, it's almost like, it's not a grenade. I get that, but
You
like
can
if you
rebuild
have,
it,
huh?
you can
You can
rebuild
rebuild
it.
You can rebuild those?
Yeah.
Man, you shouldn't have that.
Well, we don't got no more.
That might be illegal. I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. No, that was a crazy experience itself. That was definitely different. But
Oh yeah.
no, man, that's. I had a what do you call it? I told you my grandpa was a priest, right?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, okay. Well, he was a
No,
pastor. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
Not a
He was
priest.
a
He's a
pastor.
I guess you would
Evangelical
say-
church,
wait,
so
yeah.
he has to be a pastor.
exactly.
Yeah,
he was
he
a
was-
pastor.
Is that the difference between a priest and a pastor?
Usually
Yeah.
priests are Catholic.
Catholic?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you
My
go.
bad.
Usually,
There you go. So-
usually it might change like depending on like denomination, but usually priests are Catholic and preachers or pastors are gonna be evangelical.
Yeah.
or something
Wait,
like
I
that,
told
yeah.
you that
Christian,
my
Christian.
grandpa was a
Yeah.
pastor too.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so I don't know. It was weird because my grandpa he would be like, "Hey man, like he supposedly he would have these dreams and he was like fighting demons, bro. Like he would like yell in his sleep. It was crazy.
Oh,
Like
That's what he would tell us.
yeah, that's what he would tell
That's what
us.
he
You
would
know, I
tell
mean,
us.
you never know. You don't know
Yeah.
exactly, but what we would like. I'm like, man, will that affect us in the house? You know, like,
Yeah.
like,
always-
you
yeah.
think,
It always
like
gets
this,
you, bro.
does this, you think that stuff goes to your brain, and I don't know if it ever did or if it was like something that did, but at my grandparents' house, there in Hobbs, I don't know if Hobbs just hunted like was made with paranormal, bro. Like, it was like I had like three. Those are my 3 or 4 different experiences that I've had, because I've had like multiple. It wasn't just, and I never considered them experiences until recently. Like you don't like whenever you're thinking about it, you're like, man, like that just happened. Like, nah, it's whatever. And you want to think it's whatever forever until you start like seeing
Right.
all this stuff. You're like,
Till the shit.
happened.
yeah,
That
and
shit
you're like,
actually
damn,
happened to
that
me."
happened to me, bro. Like, but like my grandpa.
For you, it's just normal life.
Yeah, you're thinking, oh, this this just happened, bro.
Like,
and
oh, that's weird.
That's weird. You know, later on maybe I might talk about it, might not. You know.
Oh, yeah. Turns out, yeah.
Yeah, turns out, yeah. You know, then when I actually started doing research myself, because I got intrigued by it, bro. Like I got intrigued. I was like, man, this paranormal stuff, it's pretty intriguing, bro. Like interesting. You know.
Crazy stuff.
So I would like look up. I would watch these videos, and I was like, man, you know, this. I like to like look at these videos that have like, oh, you think this is real? You think this is not real? And I'm like, nah. That's definitely real.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's definitely real because I mean, based what you would think, you know, like that's real.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then there's some you're just like, bro, that's 100% fake. You can just tell off these videos,
100%,
man.
yeah.
You know, some people are like, nah, the CGI is crazy. These guys are good.
Now, then again, there are those videos that like look real, that aren't.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people,
Especially with AI and stuff
dude,
like
you
that.
can do anything
And you like
now,
no.
so.
Now that our parents and our grandparents are getting older, they're starting to let more of these stories go because I don't know if it's because they just need to,
Right.
but it's just or if it's just that time. But like even our mom and our tia have told us about our grandpa doing exorcisms on actual people.
Oh, yeah.
And
Did it happen in church or did
not
that
in
happen like in a
church.
house?
No, like he would
Yeah.
go to he would go to a house.
Mhm.
Oh,
And,
okay. That's how. So when I think of an exorcism, I don't think about it in church. I think
no.
about like the priest has to travel to the
house.
Yeah.
to the house, and then they're maybe in the room. Maybe I saw a lot of the Exorcist,
Exorcist.
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
always travel to the house and then they
Yeah.
throw up all over each other. I think that was not the Exorcist, actually.
See,
No,
and
so-
the story that I was telling you was my grandpa doing exorcisms in church in our house because we used to have
Yeah,
church in
no.
our house.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
And
Only in the house.
and they would do exorcisms there, like while they were praying. The couple or whatever, they wouldn't know.
And
They
s-
wouldn't know that they had an entity on
Yeah,
them.
so
you know?
sometimes that's how it would go down. You know what I mean? That like we hear those stories too.
So your
that's-
grandpa would travel there.
he would travel, or wherever they called him, he would go. And our grandma would tell us like we'd have to prepare the day before, get everything
Yeah.
ready. Like the water, the Bible, pray for everything, right?
yeah.
And there was times my mom would tell us like, yeah, we would be there, but we couldn't. They
You
had
couldn't go
this-
in the room.
They couldn't go in the room, and
Be
wherever
outside.
they were,
Yeah.
they would be outside. They had to close their eyes.
Yeah.
Are you hearing
could-
screams or what? Are you hearing
you
like
hear-
people?
yeah,
They
you
would
hear-
hear scream.
Yeah, you would hear it, bro.
Yeah,
Like
for
you would
sure.
hear. Like the
loud.
thing that's crazy is,
Yeah.
bro, is like my grandpa would be like, don't ever go into the room. He'd be like, don't ever go in the room.
Don't open
And
your
if-
eyes.
And if you do go in the room, don't look up.
Look up.
Yeah, don't look up.
look up.
Keep your eyes closed if you can. And if you're walking, look down.
Oh, like don't look at the subject.
Yeah,
Don't look at
but
him in
look
the
at them.
eyes.
Don't look at him in the eyes.
Oh, okay.
Because the belief was that if you looked it in the eyes, it can transfer to you.
It's a transfer of like the spirit
because
into
you're
you.
acknowledging it. You're
Yeah.
acknowledging the spirit.
Exactly.
Just by seeing it,
Just
though.
Just by seeing it.
Even by hearing it, bro.
Yeah.
Even just by hearing it, you're acknowledging it.
its
That's
existence.
crazy.
Exactly.
Like it was like
And you guys were in
the house.
the
We were-
house,
We were
just
young.
hearing this.
Yeah.
But just by hearing it, is it not an acknowledgement as well?
So that's the thing.
I-
Giving it power is like he said, seeing it.
Yeah,
That's giving it its power.
that's giving it its power.
So you got to be in
Yeah.
the room.
You gotta
I
be
most
think,
there,
I
likely,
think
right?
when
since
it
we
was
were
happening,
knowledgeable
you
at
know
the
what I
time,
mean?
I think in a way we're kind of like not pertain to it. We're not pertain to it because it's like it's like almost like if you're an innocent kid, you know what I mean? You're like it doesn't pertain to you. I don't know if that's the case,
It's
but
like being pure.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
being pure.
It's
So
like being
like,
pure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
exactly. But it's not like they were not trying to keep it not quiet. Like they actually put us in the other room across from the house
Yeah.
or across from the room that they were in.
as far as
Like,
possible.
Yeah, as far as
It's
possible.
Pretty much as far as possible. Because I mean, if I had a kid there, I wouldn't put him even in the across the little pathway, like in a
Yeah.
room across the
Yeah.
pathway. Like I wouldn't do that, right?
And
you,
that's
want to
yeah.
keep you as far as possible.
It's dangerous, you know what I mean? Because even our grandmother would tell us, she's like, he would be at the hospital for like a week
Yeah.
trying to recover.
Your
from fighting-
grandpa?
Yeah, he would be because they had a hospital, They would take him to the church hospital, so he can get his strength back.
I don't,
of
know,
fighting,
I don't know if it's
you know?
like strength. I think
Or-
more of like they would just pray,
Yeah.
pray and then fast and all that kind of stuff.
Well, because I seen like I know this is different, but like curanderos, like whenever they're like rubbing some spiritual evil off of somebody because it's like a rub or anything, like they go to a trash can and start like rubbing off everything. Like if it's trash on them, like but they don't got shit. They're clean. They're clean, but they're over there acting like they're doing something. You know, like they're like removing something that's not supposed to be there.
In that instance, it's almost like they're filtering that through themselves to get it away from the physical thing that has it attached to itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just like they do the egg, you know what I mean? You've seen the
egg. That's what I was
exactly. And if it's black, you know.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's bad.
Exactly.
Black is bad.
Black is bad. Attached
Not
to
in all instances, but in this one it is.
Yeah, in this one. And it was, I mean, those experiences, I remember, I honestly, I forgot about those experiences, but when they brought them to light, like, I remember it was a different, like, as a kid, you're like, man, my grandpa's taking forever. I just want him to be done so these people can leave, you know, all these, we call them hermanos and hermanas, you know, so we're like, all these manos, just trying to get them
brothers
out of
and
here.
sisters.
Yeah,
brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
That's how I knew him too. I'm apostolic too, or I was, or I don't know how I feel about it right now.
Are we all apostolic?
That's
we all grew up
crazy.
apostolic.
Yeah, I guess we all did. Bro.
That's crazy.
Man, I went to a church and you know you would always like God is in here and people speaking in tongues, stuff like that. Like that happens, man. A lot of people make fun of it, but like people speak in tongues, man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you later go to figure out, you know, all that stuff. That stuff you're like, oh shit.
See, I think some of them aren't actually speaking tongues,
dude. Okay. I had an experience with a pastor. he tells me
that's not everywhere you want to go, bro. I had experience with a pastor.
I know that's like that's saying, but he used to tell me, you like, I don't know if you've been to church and like, you know, they tell him if the Holy Spirit's with you, lay down, and they like fall down, right?
Right. Yeah.
You experienced that.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Where he just goes, and all of them just fall.
Yeah. I've seen those. Those. I mean, those are a little bit fishy. Yeah. I gotta say those are a little bit fishy. Where he's all like waving his hand and like a power runs through. Like
or he'll get a towel or something and just rub it on them or some shit.
The craziest. The craziest one I ever seen. Just people running around, like literally, like full sprint, bro. Like
all around the church.
The whole thing, like 6 or 7. Like sometimes they'll be going through all the songs. Just like that's like 15, 20 minutes. You just straight spraying the
I seen
the
that
spirit.
gospel.
You know
that's
what I mean?
that gospel.
I was like,
you got him.
That's the word, man.
That's the word. No, I had a pastor that he would like. I went up there, you know. I was like, you know, I'm gonna pray. I was just gonna go pray. You know, you go up there and you pray, do your prayer, whatever. But I went up there and this dude grabs me. He's like, "Oh, we have, you know, the son or this kid. He wants to receive the Spirit." I'm like, "I'm just praying, bro." Like, and he goes, you know, in the name of Jesus, bro. You know, does the whole thing, right?
Right.
And he goes into my ear and says, "You need to fall down." I'm like. I'm like,
I said you need to fall down.
Yeah, bro. He's like, you need to fall down. Cut, bro, like
fourth, fifth, touching the head, the head. You know, you how to do the forehead. Hey man, I'm gonna have to push you down.
Yeah, bro. Like this dude, he's like, go with my forehead. I'm like, I'm not going down, bro. Like,
he's like, I ain't going down like a bitch. I'm going down like a bitch.
The pastors that are, and then none of this.
Bro, that was my grandpa. That's my grandpa right there.
That's my grandpa.
That's how he was.
He would be screaming it, bro.
Yeah.
Deep ass voice.
Hey,
And no, like he was gonna put you back where you came from. You know what I mean? I was like, damn.
Where
Bro.
you came from the dust, bro. He's gonna lay you out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
That threw me off. I was like, "Did you just tell me to lay down?" I did it, and all I did was like I scooted over and like started, you know, kneel down like if I was gonna pray, and I was like, all right. And he's like, look, oh, it's a blessing. He felt his knees.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I wasn't gonna.
That's
fall
not
on
what
my
I
back.
planned, but I work with it.
Yeah, I was like, you know.
Hey, did they give him an ofrenda?
Yeah,
They're like, hey, we're gonna.
He had-
Was he a guest pastor? Or
Yeah,
something?
he was a guest
So they were
pastor.
like, we're gonna gather.
He
And
got
friends
blessed up.
for
Yeah,
him.
bro.
Yeah,
bro.
You know what I mean?
I straight to my grandma.
I saw
That's like,
50s flying
he
in
told
that.
me to fall, bro. Like he told me to fall. Like I
What?
wasn't gonna fall.
What did your grandma say about
She
that,
was just
man?
like,
Did you fall, Miko? Miko, you listen, right?
yeah, she was, she actually was like, nah, it's not supposed to be like that. Some people are like that. Just those
Hey.
you watch out for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
false prophets.
False
Yeah.
prophets. That's what they're
Exactly.
called, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of them going around. Sometimes you do feel it. Sometimes you feel
Yeah,
that.
there you get, the point you get those chills, bro, and you're just like, oh, shoot, something's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's just some you're just like, this guy's a load of work, bro. Like this guy does not.
Right,
like,
you always got
he
that
just-
little
he's
bad
just-
apple.
yeah, he's
Anything
a-
you do, man, even church.
Yeah,
even
no,
church.
I mean,
yeah.
you can. I think the worst place I have been judged at was at a church one time.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Bro, the church, they're ruthless.
yeah, they are
They're
ruthless, bro.
ruthless.
Like,
Man,
You have that
when
one-
when you think about religion is a very powerful thing in people's minds. So I mean, they try to control, man.
yeah.
I'll tell you,
well,
bro.
religion was that I think it was designed to divide and conquer, bro.
And that's one of those things is that
I
it's
can see
actually one of the powers of the world
Yeah.
is religion.
Yeah, bro. Like it's
Man, it's so powerful. People kill over religion.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the power of the
well,
world.
yeah,
The
Muslim
terrorists
people,
and
some
shit.
Muslim, the ISIS, bro.
What-
Think about all that.
what's
They-
like the
That's
most-
all because
their-
of a religion.
What's the most
Exactly,
recent
bro.
thing that just happened? That's like taken over by the world right now.
What's that?
And not to say that it's bad. It's the death of the Pope, man.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he
I
just
forgot
he just
about
passed
the
away,
most
right?
covered,
Yeah.
the most covered thing ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just taking like, you know
Taking
what I
the
mean?
world
That's
by
like,
storm.
yeah, it's taking the world by storm.
But
That's like
it-
the
it
most
is,
covered
man.
thing
Yeah.
in the world right now is Pope Francis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
I don't talk a lot about Pope Francis to anybody because I'm not Catholic.
yeah,
and that's a
yeah.
Catholic thing,
Yeah.
right?
That
Yeah,
is
that's a Catholic thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just that
As an example for, you know what I mean?
see, but the thing is, a lot of people like are. They start crying over stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know
they
what I
do.
mean? Like,
Right.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they
Some
knew the
people
power
feel
of
very
Moses.
deeply about it.
Yeah.
They cared, like, bro, like they're
Yeah.
passionate, and you're just like, what happened, bro?
Like,
You know, like-
there's a podcast. I don't remember who it was, but they called up their grandma or some shit like that, and he's like, "Hey, did you hear about Pope Francis?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm very sad. I'm very
Right.
upset." And like, he goes, "Okay, well, I just wanted to call you, see if you're all right." She goes, "You're acting weird. Why are you acting?" You're on a podcast.
You know,
It's like, hey, I was,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, but that's crazy.
no, but that's
though.
crazy. It's
'Cause
crazy how.
what is it called? Idols, right? They have
Idols.
like the
Idols.
idols.
They have the
in
idols.
our religion,
It's,
we're not
we're not
supposed
supposed to.
Yeah.
Not at
Exactly.
all. Like even if it's like statues of elephants or anything like that, you're not supposed to have
Yeah,
that in
you're
your
not
house.
supposed to.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a journey going through like having a grandpa as a pastor doing that stuff,
yeah.
bro. Like
Yeah, man.
if you probably experienced the same things, man. Like I've experienced some crazy things in the church. I've had people argue and then judge on Facebook. Like they do stuff like that,
Yeah,
bro.
hey,
Bro.
my brother's one of those guys that he gets
Bro.
down with arguing with people on Facebook, man. He's been banned and everything, bro. Like that deep.
People sometimes get money for that, though.
I know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I
bro,
didn't
people
know
get
that.
paid for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get money.
I know a couple of people that need to get banned off of Facebook. Yeah, I'm,
You say, you
yeah,
know,
I'm
you
talking
know.
to you. You know who I'm talking about. Man, you need to get back to church.
Some booger sugar beef.
No, but it's crazy though because one minute they claim that they're all in the church and everything like that, super holy, religious, and everything.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they're over here judging you like
Judging you,
as if
man.
they don't have their own.
Like they don't have their own.
You know what I
problems,
mean?
Like,
Like, bro, mind your business.
yeah, bro,
Mind your
I've
business,
seen-
bro.
I've seen pastors drink, cuss, like you see it.
Everything.
It's not like everybody's innocent. So
Right,
you
yeah.
know,
That's my type of pastor
so-
right there.
Yeah. You know what?
Let's talk about
I'm
the
actually
Lord.
I'm okay with a pastor drinking and cussing and all that stuff
Yeah.
because like you said, not. I mean,
It's
they're
their
not.
journey.
Yeah,
It's
they're
their
not all
journey.
innocent. They're
They're
not gonna
all-
be all
Nobody's
good.
perfect.
Everybody's
I mean,
human.
that's why you're supposed to, like
Yeah.
pray. As for,
Not and not saying that it's the right thing to do, but it's saying
not.
that
It's not.
But we're like, that's between him and God. Like that's their thing. You know what I
See,
mean? Like you got to have your own personal thing. To me, I mean, this is just to me pertaining my opinion.
The reason I think it's so frowned upon is because they're looked up as leaders.
Exact in the community.
In the
or
community.
in that congregation.
Exactly. And they're supposed to be setting an example. Which
I
is,
mean, until you see them in the fucking prison.
Yeah,
in a picture, like hanging
I
themselves
mean,
and
we're
stuff
not
like
saying for
that.
them to be going down a rabbit hole, like, hey man, I messed up. I did a little some of this, and we're not, I kind of went down the rabbit hole, we need you to tie your 10%.
We went down that rabbit hole, man. Like,
shit, bro.
We need you to tie your 10% to me personally, because I'm in jail. Like that's that. That's but they. I think eventually, good people come to good situations. Eventually, if you have a good heart, eventually it'll come. If you're genuinely good, bro, like, because some people generally have that malintention, bro.
Like as if they're born with it.
Exactly.
And it's crazy because they can be one person 1 minute, like the best person you'll ever meet. Next minute, they're over there stabbing you behind the back.
Yeah,
what's that about?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, what's up,
Why,
bro?
bro? Like,
But you could just be a good person and be like, hey, man, you got this going on. That's kind of crazy. That's not my vibe. But you're cool people. But you can be cool over there. We're cool.
Yeah. But then again, it comes down to like the whole morale thing. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
Like, if they don't have like certain morals, why do you want them in your life?
That's true.
That's
Right.
it.
That's 100%, man.
That's it.
Like, you want generally good people who have good intentions, good, I guess, practices. Not practices, because everybody has, they're different, 100%. But like, they have the good heart. You want to. That's the way I see it. I try to move with pure intentions.
And integrity.
Yeah.
Integrity.
There you go.
Yeah.
Integrity. That's a good word.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, because that's hard to come by.
It really is, bro.
It's hard. It's hard.
Nowadays,
Like
everybody wants to do something bad.
yeah, they just
Why?
like, you're like, bro, like, it's that whole thing of like, oh, I have $100 on the table. Are you gonna take it or leave it? Me, based off my experiences, I'm gonna leave it, because you're gonna be like, hey, man, you don't know if he's gonna be his last 100.
Right. Bro, I swear I thought you were about to say, I'm gonna fucking take it.
I'm
I'm gonna take it. That's my
Me
100.
personally, I'm just gonna take
That's
it,
100.
bro. Hey, that's how you know I'm not the right friend.
Hey, man, you trusted the wrong
Yeah,
person.
wrong motherfucker today.
Why you gonna put that in front of me knowing I'm struggling?
Yeah, right. I got bills. I thought it was a gift.
Hey, I'm about to go buy a bag now. Now I can pay my bills and get a bag.
Yeah.
Hey, man. So you had a story about a Chucky doll.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, we kind of got off topic there
We
for a
did,
little bit.
It all works with it though, because
it
like
does.
a lot of
does.
paranormal activity happens with stuff that is linked to religion, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A lot of the times it is, man. And this is it. I don't know if you can say that it's linked to religion. Would y'all call brujeria like religion?
Oh yeah,
Not-
that's a
that's
type of
witchcraft.
religion.
Is that
That's
type-
witchcraft.
that's
That's a
witchcraft.
type of
Yeah.
religion,
Okay.
no?
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
like-
isn't it like Wiccan or something
Yeah,
like
it'd be
that?
like a
Weekend.
following, like a type of
Yeah.
cult or
Yeah.
following.
It's-
Yeah.
You're following something that's, I think, close to the devil.
Exactly.
Baphomet and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
devil
that.
worship
And
type
devil
thing.
worship.
Yeah.
See, But the thing
I
is,
heard there's
though,
some good witches too. I mean,
but-
aren't curanderos good
nah,
witches?
But the thing is, witchcraft is of the devil.
Regardless,
regardless.
even if you're good,
If
even
it's
if you're
good,
bad.
It's of the devil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
of
it
the
is.
devil.
and our
Period.
great grandmother was actually a bruja, but she considered herself a white witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I
those
mean?
white, so there's white witches and then there's
and there's
dark witches,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is there a gray witch somewhere in there,
Yeah.
like where it's
Like
like
in
really-
between, like a
you're in there?
what's it called? Not a villain, but a
Vigilante.
vigilante.
Yeah.
So it's like an anti-hero kind of thing, like
Kind of.
Almost,
I would say
almost.
that's still. I mean, the white witches thing too. I would say they're the
Yeah.
vigilante, because you're still. I mean, you're doing the practice, but you're not
for
Doing it
good.
for
It's for
good, though.
good. It's for
Exactly,
good. You know,
exactly.
you're trying to heal people and stuff
Instead
like
of-
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're trying
yeah.
to put something under the bed so they could have a baby or something. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know,
not
something
trying
like
to
that.
put something in their, tacos and feed it to it, something like that. You know,
Put
right?
something in their tacos. Don't follow my tacos.
Meaning that they're gonna get tacos, or you're gonna put something in their
Nah,
tacos.
nah.
Your stuff
I mean,
is like your tacos are cursed. You take a bite.
Yeah,
and
you take a bite,
You
you're
fucking
gonna have
Pito's gonna fall off.
like the apple. What is that? What's that?
You talking about Snow White? Or
Snow
what?
White.
Snow White.
Yeah,
Oh, something like that. Yeah,
shit.
something like that.
But now you take a bite of that fucking
it's-
taco, your
it's-
picos
Hey,
gone.
same shit.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Is that how it works? I don't know,
Hey,
man.
shit, probably.
Have you
Yeah.
ever lived with somebody that has practiced that before? Have you ever lived with somebody that does?
That's right. No, I've only
I-
seen
before-
the act of a curandero working. That's pretty much it, man. So I consider them witches.
So, whenever I was little, we had these people living with us, and I want to say the mom and the daughter were like brujas, right?
Oh,
A lot of people talk about them like from at the church, right? A lot of people
Right.
talk about, but they still go to the church. The thing is that
To a
apparently-
normal church, they
to-
go to like hey, like
the-
praise God and stuff
praise
like
God
that.
and everything like that. Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, like, everybody's like, man, these guys are witches. They're brujas or whatever. And honestly, bro, anytime I've ever been around them, it's always been a bad vibe. I can feel it. It just don't feel right.
And that's natural, bro. It's
Yeah.
just- anybody that practices is gonna have that weird vibe around them.
Yeah.
And
See
I
that.
actually dated this girl back in New Mexico, and her dad used to practice that, man. And that's something that I feel like that doesn't just get away from you. That's something that follows you.
Stays with you. It's like it's
stays with you,
attached
bro.
to
You
you.
practice it once,
Yeah.
and it's just like that's attached to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Kind of like the Ouija, where it's
The-
like
the
it feels
Ouija board,
like
yeah.
once
Yeah,
you
yeah,
once you
yeah.
use it,
Yeah.
something's attached to you.
Exactly.
You got to say bye or some shit like that. And
Yeah,
like,
you gotta do. Yeah,
but
it's
the
a
thing
process.
is, like he said, it stays with you.
You know, even like that,
regardless.
I would still have to go to a priest to see like, hey,
Oh,
like,
on limpiar,
please
something
clean-
like
get
that.
clean, man.
Repent for yourself.
Yeah,
Man,
for
exactly.
doing
Definitely.
something so
Essentially,
stupid.
that would
Because
be a
like, hey,
sin,
like
yeah.
you don't even know if it's good or bad that's coming from that
Exactly,
thing, man.
exactly.
You never know. And so my ex's dad, he actually used to practice it beforehand, and he was the worst. Like he was like paranormal activity, horror in general was just like his thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it kind of got me interested in the whole situation. But he would always tell me stories like about him and his brother and how they used to practice it, and it's just crazy, bro. Cause you're sitting there like, man, like this guy he used to live with us,
Right.
and man, I could never sleep, bro. Cause this guy, he would go to sleep, and he would put on these. You ever see like those scary stories that you put on YouTube?
Like creepypasta kind of stuff.
Like creepypasta type
Yeah,
stuff.
okay. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
falls
yeah.
asleep to that. Like I don't
Just
know.
enjoying people talking about
And-
demons
bro,
and stuff like
hey,
that.
It's funny you say that though, because I used to fall asleep to death metal.
Bro.
Swear to
yeah.
God,
he could
I
too,
was
bro.
young, bro. I would put on my headphones, blast death metal.
But that's like
Yeah,
wait, that's still music though. Like
Yeah.
but it's death metal. It
That's
wasn't.
true.
It was 100% not Lord.
Yeah, true,
It was
true.
not of the
That's
Lord.
Right.
See,
I'll tell you straight up, bro. Everything they were saying, talking about like possessing demons and shit,
Yeah.
or
And the devil's following you, or
or
something like
fucking
that.
kill all your enemies or kill everybody
Death
you
with
love.
him.
yeah, bro. I would wake up in the middle of the night, bro, just like to go turn off the TV in the living room, bro. Cause fuck that.
Turn off the
I could
TV?
not sleep. I would wake up. I would get up, cause he would put that shit on, and I would wait till he fell asleep, cause I could not sleep with that shit on.
That's some scary shit to
Nah,
fall
bro.
asleep
That
to,
is,
though.
It
Exactly.
really is.
Like, and there was this one story in particular that they told me about when they used to live at this old house down the street from his childhood home. Well, him and his brother were very mischievous, and
Like you guys.
yeah. Well, I guess compared to that guy, we were considered angels. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
that dude. Well, there was a mishap, and one of his neighbors ended up like actually passing away because of a fire that was started by him and his brother.
Oh
And
So he killed somebody.
that
pretty
was
much.
that was basically and that he carried that with him, and that was in the same house that they lived in. Their kids. My ex, she would tell me all the time, like, man, we lived in that house, and I would always hear noises, like people walking around, like little footsteps, and I'm just like, man,
That's some
I don't know
scary
how you
shit, man.
do
You
that,
feel
bro,
little clack, 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 clack. Yes.
And their little brother, they used to have, so it was 3 of them, the oldest sister, the younger sister, and their little brother. Well, their little brother used to have this Chucky doll. The old school Chucky doll, not the one, not the very first one, but the second one that they came out with. Where his face was all cut up, stitched up.
Yeah,
Well,
with
hey, what was the name of
staples
that
and
brand?
everything.
What was the name of that brand? Mr. Good Boy or something?
Mr. Good Guy.
Is it a Mr.
Bo-
Good Guy?
I think it's Good Guy. Yeah, man.
I think it was Mr. Good Guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the clean one, right?
Yeah, bro. But
That
I
was
still,
the-
I
that
wouldn't
was
wanna buy
that was a
him-
clean guy. Yeah.
That was, if anything, that was even more creepy because you knew that movie.
Yeah, man. Honestly, the one that doesn't have all those things on it is scarier,
It's
bro.
scary, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
freakier,
I'm telling you,
especially with the movies and everything, man. Like
Yeah.
having one of those around. Nah, bro.
no way. And they were telling me that everybody was asleep, so they decided to stay up and chill. Well, their little brother used to love to sleep with that doll, man, and
Which is crazy.
which
by
is
the way.
creepy as fuck. Like
How old was he?
he's going on like
like
he's like 4 or 5 at this time.
And he used to love
He's
sleeping with
sleeping
it.
with that, bro.
My nieces and nephews would cry if we even
Have a
brought
heart
up,
attack.
At
bro.
that age, I'm telling you.
Hey, we're gonna get Chucky. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
exactly it, bro. Exactly.
That's
No.
the one.
They're like, no, this kid's insane, just like his dad. You know what I mean? Insane. And they stayed up, and they were up till like 2 or 3 in the morning, bro. And finally, they were like, we're gonna go out and get some snacks. And it was about 1 o'clock. And they went and checked on their brother. Oh, he's good. Their parents were asleep. So they were all there cooking and shit and getting their snacks. They walked to the room. They shut the door. And they just hear a loud bang. Just boom. Like, what the hell? Like, the little sister's like, you gonna go check? And
Fuck
my ex
no.
like, fuck no, I'm not gonna go
I
check.
ain't
Like,
checking.
Nah, we
he's
just,
like, well, what are we gonna do? Everybody's asleep, and we need to go check on them. We need to see, because at that time, that's when they was young enough to know about burglaries and stuff like that.
Right. It could be anybody at
Anybody.
that point. Yeah.
So she walked out there to go check to see what was going on, man, and that Chucky doll was standing in the middle of the hallway, bro, just staring at her.
and the brother was still asleep, or was he?
Oh, she saw that doll and she ran to her parents' room. They were asleep. And she ran to her brother's room next, dead asleep. Cover open.
Bro.
He just appeared there, like in the hallway. So on the hallway, middle hallway.
Middle
He's
of the
just
hallway.
standing there.
Just standing there, bro. And this is like those dolls, like the bottom of their feet. You can't make that stand up, bro.
They ain't
Like,
strong enough. I
It's
think,
not
just
strong
right?
like
enough.
the cotton field.
Yeah,
No,
cotton
bro.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell nah.
and
I'd be out.
I'm telling you, to this day, because after she seen that her brother was asleep, she hauled ass back to her parents. She was screaming, "Hey, come out here, come out here!" Ah! And their parents came out, and the dog was still standing there, bro.
So they saw it too.
They saw
huh?
it too, and they will vouch, like they will put everything on their lives to vouch that dog was still standing there.
That's
That's
crazy,
crazy.
I was
man.
just like,
That dog, I feel like I'd have to shred the fuck out of it, man.
I-
Just
Bro.
I'd burn it, get a pastor to come over, do a
Bless it.
limpiada, like everything, bro. We gotta bless the house.
We gotta-
maybe drink some holy oil, bro.
Some olive oil.
Hey, bro.
every.
they told me that story, man, and like the following week, they're like, "Oh, you won't believe what I found." I was like, "What?" And they brought it to my house, bro. The fucking Chucky doll. I was like, "Nah, get that shit out of here. You ain't bringing
Nah,
that."
man, what the
As
hell, man? Like,
As a
hey,
matter of fact, delete my number.
You still got that? Nope.
No.
they over here like, you want this?
Let me take that over to the
Fuck
priest,
no.
bro.
It's like the Annabelle doll. You heard that one, right? The Annabelle doll
Dude.
Yeah, well, my daughter's named after it actually.
after Annabelle.
No, it's not, but they have the same
I was
name.
about to say, bro.
They have the same name.
Whoa, man, what kind of
What?
Pretty much the Annabelle doll is a demon inside the doll that possessed
Well,
it,
that's
right?
that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
how you were like, hey man, like it can get attached to stuff. That's kind of like the same thing. But
Right,
it's
right.
just it's one of those dolls. It's not like the movie. They made it like 10 times worse than what it actually is. If you actually look up the Annabelle doll, bro, it looks like a little doll.
Oh, it's one of those
the
Annie
old
Rag
one.
dolls.
Exactly,
or something like
Annie
that.
Rag doll. That's all it is.
It's something like that. It's called something.
chills,
Yeah.
man. She
Yeah,
got the
bro,
chills.
like,
I was
that,
like,
like you would think like it would, but one time I seen the actual like you can actually look up the photos and look it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
you're
can.
just like, man, like to be stuck in a room, just knowing that everything around is all demonized and stuff.
Yeah, that whole room was
that
full of
whole-
stuff,
yeah,
right?
Hey,
full of stuff.
Yeah, it's
what are they called? What are the names?
Curse.
Ed and Lorraine
Curse of-
Lauren.
Ed
Ed-
and Lorraine
Ed
Lauren.
and
Or
Lorraine,
Warren,
yeah.
sorry, Warren.
Warren.
Warren,
Lauren.
yeah.
Warren.
And he
Warren.
was a
With the
pastor,
W.
I think.
Warren.
No, they were a paranormal, like paranormal activist, I think, or something like that.
She was a clairvoyant kind
There
of
you go,
thing,
yeah.
or something
She
like
was
that.
a psychic, I guess
A psychic,
yeah,
a psychic,
yeah.
yeah.
And she would actually like be like, hey, you know, she would actually feel things and hear things, and
Right.
if she touched something, and
Was
that's
it like a dawn, right?
Yeah.
That's what they call them.
Yeah.
Un dawn.
yeah. And she like if she was in a house, she would like if she could feel the energy, and she would be like, oh, like something happened.
Yeah,
here.
something's here.
Yeah.
Are you saying don't like gift?
Yeah, like a dawn, like a gift.
It's
I
a
guess,
gift, right? That
Yeah.
be able to, man.
I've
I
only-
think it's a curse, man.
I
It
would
feels
say it's a
something
curse,
like that.
bro. Like I wouldn't. I'd be like,
Yeah,
man,
that's
you take this away from me
Hey,
because I'd be like, I
wait.
wouldn't be able to sleep.
You don't have a dawn, like growing
Like,
okay
growing up, like, you would think-
because us having grandpas as pastors and everything like that. My grandma, she has very good dawn of like predicting the future and but like people's energy.
Hey, got you excited.
He's like, I got something to say about that.
And then mine is really just like intuition, or like people that we meet.
Yeah.
Like I can tell whenever somebody's a
Gay
good
or not?
person.
Oh, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
A good person. A
Yeah,
good person.
yeah,
Yeah, a
the
good
good-
person.
Yeah, that guy right there, he's a little fruity. What was I doing yesterday with the gun? Ratatata. We in the ghetto. Ratatata.
It was a little sus.
My bad.
But do y'all know any like gypsies?
No,
I
I
can't
feel.
say I do.
I heard
No.
that they're crazy because like they can hide shit like out of nowhere, like
And
Yeah.
so I
Like
met
up
this,
their ass?
I met this one.
kind
Oh,
of.
shit.
It's
Wait,
not
what do you-
not
what do
not
you
up
mean
their,
up their
you know,
ass?
but
I think he
like
meant
in
secrets. Look at that.
Hey.
no, like not up their butts or anything like that, but like in I guess another realm. I don't know, dude.
so
I don't know.
So I don't know anything. Yeah, go ahead. Go
so
ahead. Go
this
ahead.
gypsy, he told me, he's like, you know how we speak? Because you know, you've heard of those, you know, like you said, what was the name you just told me?
The don?
The Don, right? He like predicts, or how would you say, the person that speaks to the dead?
A seance.
A person that speaks to the dead is they do it
psychic.
in a seance.
Is
Oh
that
yeah, they do it in a
Is
seance.
that the
Seance?
thing?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. It's like the performance of it. Or
To,
So,
yeah,
I
it's
was-
like the ritual.
I always knew them as gypsies. That's
Right.
like the I guess the universal, but it's not such a universal because it's not really the people, but it's the actual practice, right?
Right.
So I met this gypsy, and you know, he would tell me that his mother was a gypsy as well. And they'd be like, they would speak to people from beyond the grave, right? They would have these people come in, and they would bring like a shrine or whatever of the person that passed away. And the way he told me that they would speak is that he would put their hand out. You know, they say put your hand out, and you put your hand right, just like you would put your hand right here.
Right.
And they have their hand, right? Well, what you don't know is that the spirit of the person's hand also touches theirs.
Also touches theirs, so
Yes.
they're
And
touching
basically-
when you put your hand out, they're touching it.
Right. And so the way that they would find out all that old information is the person is speaking into their ear. Yeah. That's
So
how he told me.
the
Wait,
spirit
wait.
the
What do you
spirit
mean? What do
is
you mean?
speaking into the ear
Of the gypsy.
of the
the
gypsy,
gypsy.
Yeah.
and then
they're putting their hand out to who?
To the
spirit.
person,
To the spirit or the
to the person that's searching for their relative.
so really
Oh.
it's the person that's the inquirer, the one that is there,
Oh,
that
yeah.
went to
But-
go
It shows a
looking,
connection.
Yes, and
like
that's
puts
what,
their hand out,
right.
and
Yeah.
then the spirit touches it.
yes, the spirit touches it and speaks to the gypsy, and
Ab-
and tells him, you know,
You can
what
ask
they-
questions, right?
they ask questions. Yeah, they ask questions, and they're like, you know, well, how does he feel? And you know, well, he's at peace, you know,
Yeah.
or he's moved on.
Man, for me, like gypsies have never had a good reputation.
No,
but
never.
Do you know
never.
why?
Like con artists?
No, like
Because
the-
they're con
okay.
artists. That's
'Cause
one.
they're
That's
all-
one of the.
I know that they're
reasons.
See,
scary
but
too at
the-
the same time. I don't know.
What kind of just threw me off? Why I just made that face is because it kind of reminds me of those that what are they called? That do like the globe,
Oh, the
The
I know what you're
globe.
talking about.
the and they read palms or whatever. And
Yeah.
they'll say like, "Oh yeah, the spirit's here."
That's exactly
Right.
what he's
That's
Hey,
basically.
referencing to.
Yes,
But
that's
the thing
what
is-
I'm referencing
and-
to. Yeah,
and-
yeah, because that's the same thing.
See, my thing is like, do they pay for that? Is that why they?
And that's some people. That's the crazy thing. Some people do it for the views. Some people actually do it for the pay.
For the pay, right?
Right.
And that's the difference. That's where because some people you can look up anybody's history on the internet,
You can. It's
and they've proven that like somebody who actually before they go to somebody's house they check the history and we're like, hey, did you have this happen to you? Because usually if it's a traumatic event, they're gonna be like, hey, it's gonna be on the newspaper or something. Obviously,
Yeah,
say your sister dies or brother dies or whatever. They can kind of use that to make
to be like,
you,
yeah, to
They'd be like,
believe.
speak-
make you believe. Yeah.
Somebody died here.
Yeah,
Somebody close to
exactly.
you.
Starts with an M
Somebody
or
close
something, you
to
know.
hold on, I'm getting a name here. What is it? Vanessa or something,
Yeah.
you know, or Daniel, you
Yeah,
know.
they're like,
Right.
man, but if you
And
look it
how
up
did
that
you know?
story,
It's very easy
it's
to
on
do
the
that.
internet,
Yeah.
It's
It's very
like-
easy to do that kind of
this
thing.
dude, like this guy, something about him, bro. Like, cause he's told me more stories, you know, cause he's like a well educated man. He's actually what do you call those guys?
Like a scholar or something?
He's
Or
a scholar, but he's a paleontologist.
paleontologist.
What
What
is
does
that?
a
What is
paleontologist
that?
do?
Paleontologist basically you dig up old artifacts.
Bones and stuff like
Right,
that. You
yeah.
know,
I
like
thought that was
dinosaur bones
I
and
thought that was
stuff.
an archaeologist.
I think it might be right.
archaeologist. You might be right. Yeah.
No, archaeologist is
Paleontologist focuses specifically
on
on
dinosaurs.
bones, on dinosaur bones.
Oh,
right?
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And but
That's
he's
what
an
friends-
archaeologist. You're right. And so he's discovered quite a few things, man. Just talking about being in Mexico and how he went to college over there, and how he has this dig site, actually.
A what?
Dig site, like
dig
a
site.
site where they're digging.
DIG.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought you
Oh,
said
they're digging stuff.
Yeah.
dig site on
Blur
the
that- do we have to blur
internet.
that out, man? Do we have
That's
to?
it. That sounds like OnlyFans.
Hey, that's
You know, and this
instead of the
this
OM,
gentleman,
it's the D. The D.
he puts the
telling
D in dig site.
It's him
Dang.
inside the dirt and shit.
and no, brother, but he was real close. He was actually real close to my grandpa. To tell you the truth, and he was actually the first person that told me that actually made me believe that there was actually aliens out there.
Oh yeah, aliens.
Yeah, aliens.
I think aliens exist more than ghosts. To be honest with you,
They're more.
I'll tell you that.
Wait.
That's a fact.
That's a whole new podcast right
It
there.
really is,
I'm sorry, no, I just
That's
wanted
a
to.
whole new podcast.
and you know what? I think that's the pod. This
That's
is
the
the
pod.
podcast.
That's the
man.
pod.
This is the
Damn.
pod.
Yeah,
Hey, I do want to thank Art and Abel for being here because, hey, man, these stories are crazy,
Yeah,
man.
this is definitely something.
Hey, I appreciate you having us on here,
Yeah, it's
man.
been-
Yeah, man.
It's been a ball.
First guest, too.
First guest.
First guest.
Yeah, so, yeah.
honored,
Hell yeah.
So I mean,
very honored.
I have another story, but I'll probably have to save it for another podcast. It's about JFK sighting.
Okay.
JFK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole new pod.
The JFK thing. That's gonna be another
Yeah,
podcast. Because
that one's gonna have to be.
For sure.
But yeah, we should.
I know a lot of information about the JFK.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
man,
yeah,
like,
fill me in.
everybody loves
Yeah,
that.
fill me in,
stuff.
That's a
Yeah.
good one for me, you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of gotta take this, bro. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
No, hey,
Yeah.
that's the pod.
Hey, thank you for being here. No, I'm gonna cut that out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Booger and Sugar and Whiskey.
Booger, sugar, and whiskey.
Hey.